The best advice I've ever gotten came from my mom, and interestingly enough, I don't think she ever gave it to me directly. I just remember hearing it from her in another context. My mom in the 1970s worked as a nurse at Planned Parenthood, and she was really on the front lines of the whole women's reproduction kind of debate, the beginnings of access to birth control, and the beginnings of the idea that people should be taught about their bodies. And it was a really controversial and heated moment in time, and she was right there in the middle of it, and it meant a lot to her. It meant a lot to her for a lot of reasons, but probably foremost of which was that she had grown up in this farming community in Minnesota where she had watched as every year one 16-year-old after another got pregnant, and it was a scandal, and every single time it was a scandal, as though it had never happened before, much less 6 times in the last year. And every single time the girl's life was ruined unless the boy married her, and the boy's virtue was never questioned. And there was just all sorts of wrongness about it. And she watched her aunts and her mother having more children than they could manage. And there was just a lot about it that was really important to her. And she told me once that she used to counsel girls and women who were coming to Planned Parenthood with really big decisions to make. And she said to me once that it was so daunting because they wanted advice, and it was their lives and it was their bodies, and she said that she would tell them, please do me this great service, and please do me this great favor, and please do yourself this great favor, and try to remember 10 years from now, when you're second guessing this decision that you made the very best decision that you could make on this day with the information that you had today. As the years go by, you'll have more information, and you might wish that you had done things differently, but just don't forget that on the day that you had to make the choice, you didn't know, and you only knew what you have now. Don't abuse yourself later for what you didn't know now. And it just strikes me as so compassionate, and it's such an easy thing to forget because if you're like me, you spend a lot of your life in sort of retrospective regret for things that you wish you had known at the time. We can be cruel to ourselves in that way, and it's a lot of wisdom to expect that 10 years ago we should have known what we know now. It's an unreasonable thing to ask. So that would be the best advice I ever got. Just remember when you're in the course of a difficult decision, or when you look back on that difficult decision in decades to follow, that you made the best choice you could given what you had.